Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And in this episode of the Wealth Building series, I'm going to show you two important things when it comes to having your money earn you money. This episode is meant to help you realize how much traditional banks are taking out of your pocket each and every year. And I'm going to show you how to use your money wisely. The first important thing is to have about 90% of your savings in a high yield savings account. I cannot stress this enough because having your money in a high yield savings account is another form of investing, which I'm going to go into in a bit. The second important thing is analyzing your opportunity costs, which sounds vague now, but don't worry, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this. But before I get into that, guys, please subscribe to the channel, give this a like, join this community, and help out the channel. Okay, now let's move on. Because online banks don't have the same costs in comparison to traditional brick and mortar banks, they can offer you a much higher annual percent yield, or APY. Currently, most high yield savings accounts are offering about 2.0% APY. Now, before the Federal Reserve lowered the interest rates, that rate was as high as 2.5 to 2.7% APY. Don't worry, even that 2% APY, there's still a lot of money to be gained. I've calculated several examples, which I will show you next, illustrating why a high yield savings account is an investment, how to analyze opportunity costs, and how much money can be earned passively, keeping these two things in mind. Now in these examples, I have $1,000 as the investment amount. This is just for simplicity. You can see the two groups here. You have the first group and the second group. Both groups have 10 stocks. In column A, you have the ticker symbols. In column B, you have the number of shares that you can get with $1,000. And yes, they're fractional. Just because we're using M1 Finance, why not, right? Now, column C is using information pulled from Google Finance. So what you're seeing here is the current price for those shares. So this column is getting the price per share for each of these individual stocks currently as they are today. And to check column C and column B, we have column D. Now column D is just to show how much at that current share price or price per share and how many shares we can get, including the fractional ones, what we're going to end up at the end, which is $1,000, right? So we started with $1,000 investment. We should have a total of $1,000 invested in these stocks, in these companies. Column E is the dividend amount that they offer, and column F is column E times column B. So we can see how much you can earn for those shares at the end of the year. Okay, so if you invest $1,000 in each one of these companies, you can see that neither of the companies in the first group are going to earn you over $20. Now this is going to be important, which I'll show you later on. Now moving on to the second group, you can see that the same amount of money invested in these companies will earn you over $20, which again will be important later on. Now here you can see a list of online institutions as well as traditional banks, and you can see what rates they're offering for their savings account. For example, you can see that Synchrony Bank is offering 2.0% APY, which at the end of the year with a $1,000 investment, you will earn $20. Chase, that same investment will only earn you 10 cents for the year. Okay. So now you're at the point and you're asking yourself, why does this matter? Why do we need to know this information? Well, if you go back up to the first graph, you'll notice that if you invest this $1,000 in a company like Coca-Cola, you're not even going to make $5 at the end of the year. You'll actually make $3.44. Now, if you take that same $1,000 and you invest it in Synchrony Bank, you will get $20 at the end of the year. And you'll have 100% of your money back because it's FDIC insured, just like the traditional banks. Hands down, investing $1,000 in a high yield savings account versus Coca-Cola or Costco is going to make you vastly more money. Now keep in mind, the stocks don't actually make you money even when they go up in capital gains until you sell them. And truly, this is for someone who's not invested in the stock market, who wants their money to earn them money. Having the opportunity cost or having the opportunity to invest their money in a high yield savings account will still be able to produce them a rate of return. So you might be saying, well, why not put all my money in a high yield savings account and just not invest, right? I mean, you're going to make more money with the high yield savings account. And you would be right, except for there's other great companies out there that are going to offer you more than the high yield savings account at a much higher rate. Okay, now if you take that same $1,000 and invest it into a company like Apple Hospitality REIT, you'll see that you'll get a rate of return much higher than the high yield savings account. You'll actually earn $73.44 for the year. Which, if you've been watching my channel, should be no surprise as to why I value this company. In the harmony building itself, building that portfolio is the tricky part. That's what takes time and patience. Okay. Now, just to touch on it a little bit, in my Building a Dividend Portfolio series, I tell you why I think it's important to build this harmony. Now, it takes time and study and patience to get a portfolio right. Now, that's not to discourage you if you're an investor. There's plenty of good things to invest in, like indexes, where it takes all the work out of it. But I enjoy actually picking my stocks and actually putting a portfolio together. But if you only take away one thing out of this whole video, is to please, please, please take your money out of a traditional bank and put it in a high yield savings account. If nothing else, it will grow you money. Now, I'm not saying that you should chuck away any traditional bank. You still need traditional banks, but put less of your money in there. Which brings me to my next point. One of the major downsides of an online institution is that you can't get access to your cash immediately. You can do it through a card or anything like that, but you can't get actual physical cash when you need it. So you're still going to need a traditional bank so you can transfer the money from the online institution to the traditional bank. We can see here that none of these companies reach over $20. And we can see here that these companies vastly exceed the $20. And we can see here that the online institutions on average earn you way more than the traditional banks, which barely even show up in this graph. And so I use $20 as a benchmarker because you have some that are going to offer more and some that are going to offer less, but generally around $20 is a safe bet right now, currently. Now let me just show you one more thing. If you look at this and you see the first group and you have $10,000 to invest, $1,000 in each of these companies, at the end of the year, you're going to make $144.23. However, if you take that same $10,000 and invest it in the second group, it's going to earn you $507.53, which is more than double the amount than the first group. So this shows you whether you have $1,000 or $10,000, what opportunities are out there, what opportunity costs, and how to analyze them. Because if you had that $10,000 and you were looking to earn $500 at the end of the year, with that money, you're going to want to invest it in group 2 versus group 1. However, the first group is probably going to be a group that's going to bring you much higher capital gains than the second group. So it's good to have a mixture of the two groups in order to build your portfolio correctly or balanced. You're going to want some stocks that are going to offer you a really good dividend yield and some stocks that are going to offer you capital growth. Now, one more thing noteworthy to mention is that if you invest in a high yield savings account, you will lose no money. You cannot lose any of your investment money at all. These banks are FDIC insured. I mean, the bank system would have to shut down, which would cause you even more problems than worrying about this $1,000. So you don't have to worry about it there. You're not going to lose any money. However, if you invest that money in a company like Coca-Cola or Apple Hospitality REIT, the stock price could go down and you could lose that initial investment. One of the reasons why we invest in the stock market is because we're looking for that money to actually increase, for these companies in value to increase, and hence we would actually earn more money than we would in a traditional savings account or a high yield savings account. Now, just to reiterate, as long as you're not investing more than $250,000, you will get 100% of your money back because it's FDIC insured. So what are the takeaways? 1, take your money and put it in a high yield savings account. 2, invest. Don't forget to invest. And 3, look at the opportunities that you're investing that money in. Is it better to invest in the stock market, or is it better to keep most of it in savings? That's up to you depending on your risk threshold. Okay guys, that's going to be it from me. If you made it this far, please hit that like button. Leave a comment down below if you want to get a conversation going, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because it really helps out.